Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to today's episode of Life Moments right here on UB Clifton's. My name, as usual, is Dela Boateng, and thank you for joining us. Today on Life Moments, our guest is in the person of Mr. Akwesi Osei Nkrumah. He was once a chief vandal.
Hello, Dela.
Hello, Mr. CEO.
Yeah. I came with something small from this place for you.
Thank
pizza.
You very much. God, it smells good. Okay, please have a seat.
Thank you.
You're welcome to the show.
Yeah.
We are Life Moments and we're on YouTube.
Thank you.
Viewers at home, don't forget to share our videos across all social media platforms. All right, so should I call you Mr. Akwesi or Mr. CEO or former chief vandal or former managing director?
Call me Budo.
Budo. All right. Budo, you're welcome.
Thank you, man.
Okay, so let's dig in. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Akwesi Osei Nkrumah. I'm sure you might have told your viewers.
Sure.
Born and raised in Kumasi. Yeah, attended Central International in Edum.
Which year did you complete school?
University 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I left CAS in 1993. And St. Peter's 1995, June. You know, we used to write external exams in June. So June 93 for CAS, June 95 for St. Peter's, and June 2002 for University of Ghana. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Were you an only child?
Come from a very large family, both mother's side and father's side. So
yeah.
there are a lot of other siblings too.
I see.
And growing up in a big compound house in KU, Ashanti New Town, also gave me a lot more brothers and sisters.
I see. So, did you start working right after completing school?
I joined Afwano Premier as a project officer because of my agri background.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to be sent to be trained on the job at Sexual Raban for 2 weeks.
Okay.
How to do credit appraisals and all other stuff. After 3 years with Afwano, I left. You know, when you marry and another mouth is coming to be fed, you start to look for more resources, how you're going to take care of your family. So I remember my wife was telling me that I could tell you I'm within the idea. I could let you pay TV survival on it. So I joined Adansi Bank January 2007. And that was where I worked until January 20th this year.
Oh, okay.
When
You've been there for long.
Decided to take a walk.
Okay. So, what prompted that walk?
Let me call it good omen.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you are a person of faith, everything that comes your way, the Bible says that all things work together for good to those who are called according to his purpose, and who love God and are called according to his purpose. So all things mean that good, bad, semi-good, semi-bad, they all must work together for your good. There was a boardroom issue, and I felt that the way and manner it was handled, it made my continuous stay in the organization untenable.
Okay.
So I opted to walk.
Okay.
And they also accepted my resignation.
Okay.
And some small settlement, and I
Okay.
went away.
So, you are the CEO of Root Cuisine.
Yes.
Right after leaving the bank, you decided to set up, or was it a decision you made whilst working with the bank?
Let me say that in my working life in rural banking, I was fortunate to have been mentored by some of the very best managers.
Can you mention some names?
Yeah, I'll mention this Mr. Evans Edu.
Okay.
He always do say that after a certain period, have an exit strategy.
Okay.
Have an exit strategy. And as if he was a prophet, certain situations happen to him.
Okay.
whilst he was with us and he had to leave. But fortunately, he went to another bank, that is Fiasma Bank in the Western region. And we were still talking.
Yeah.
So he kept advising me to always have an exit strategy.
Okay.
So I remember discussing with him that I intend to set up. Originally, it was a vegan restaurant.
Okay.
Rose Cuisines was originally a vegan restaurant. The idea was that set up something that is unique.
Okay.
And will come to support people seeking to have better dieting alternatives. Yeah, so we set it up as and he supported me with a lot of encouragement. He himself used to pass through to eat there. We started Two Rose Cuisines more than 2 years ago.
Okay.
Originally as a vegan restaurant, but the patronage was a problem.
Okay.
Because the vegans were not many. And also they were not frequenting as much as we expected them to.
Yeah, so before starting that kind of, it's a new market, right? So I would want to know, did you not do any form of research?
The research was botched. Let me say the research wasn't properly done.
Okay. You did it, but it was not properly done.
Yeah, it wasn't properly done because what I'm saying, I was just obstinate because I myself was a vegan.
Okay.
I just felt to go with what I believed in.
Okay.
Much against the good judgment of, say, my wife, who is a caterer.
Okay.
Who felt, let's combine the two.
And that
so
didn't
I did
work
not really
well.
allow myself to be informed by the facts on the ground. Rather, my belief and conviction is what I used to choose that particular area. So when we tried it more than a year and it's still working, I have to give in to the woman's saying that we need to combine the two. Yeah, so we rebranded it last year, August, to a full-fledged a la carte restaurant.
Okay. Okay. So how was life like after coming out and going all by yourself alone? You have families, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
I have.
So how was life like? What challenges did you face? And would you say that it was a smart move?
Oh, any move, any step that is destiny defining shouldn't be a smart move. Any step that is destiny defining should not be a smart move. If you want to make smart moves, you will sit where you are.
Okay.
You will be in your comfort zone. But that's the smartest move. Everything is going on well for you, so why do you want to move?
Yeah.
Situations that challenge you to go against smart decisions is what brings life-changing results. The Bible says that he who observes the wind will not sow.
Okay.
He who observes the wind will not sow. If you take too much caution, you will not take the plunge.
Okay.
Sometimes you say, "Ben, since humans and you just need to jump in."
Okay. So what were the challenges? What challenges did you face?
Well, basically, let's say it's financial. You will face financial challenges,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because now nobody is paying you. However, you must pay others.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And when you have a business that you've not focused so much on because you were so engrossed in doing others' business, so the growth has not been as expected.
Okay.
And because you could be supporting with funding instead of supporting with your time to draw plans for marketing and reach out to your market and grow your patronage. You rather any money you dip it out.
So
that was how this recruiting had been run.
Okay, so before this restaurant business, did you attempt trying other businesses before this?
We have a store. We have litanies of businesses that we did and failed. Yeah.
So you're a farmer as well.
Yes, and I'm also a trained agriculturist.
Okay.
A soil scientist specifically.
How is the farming business?
At the moment, we're starting small, but the vision is big.
Do you have a branch, or you're doing agriculture as a whole?
Yeah, I have a few cash crop, rubber to be specific. Serendipity is bringing me back to where I should have started, which is agriculture.
Okay.
As a trainer in agriculture, I saw myself as somebody working on the field here and there. Now I ended up in the banking hall and later in the boardroom, and I'm going back to where I think I gel more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
farming is what is the way forward now, and restauranting will top it up to give me an avenue to sell whatever
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So how has this current pandemic affected your business?
Oh, really?
Both the farming and the restaurant business?
For the farming, I cannot say it affected, but for the restaurant, yeah. Restaurant, it has affected us. Last year, we closed for 2 months. We get orders. Last month, we get a couple of orders that really made sure that we have enough money in our chest to pay salaries and foot all other bills, but not enough for the owner.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I walked out on my job on January 20th, and I must say that it wasn't an easy decision, you know. It wasn't an easy decision, but it was a worthwhile decision. Like I said, it wasn't a smart decision, but destiny-defining decisions don't have to be smart, I said it earlier. The business wasn't as it is now because it has not had the attention, especially from me, as it had to.
Okay.
But I still felt that I will give it a go and do it. Financially, you will not be on top of things now. Now, for instance, I cannot give money to solve their problems, but I must give ideas to grow their business to solve their problems. It's also giving me opportunity to put to use anything that I've learned in my working life. As I was about 18 years in banking, everything I have learned, customer management, all those things, bring it to bear and grow the business. So I just asked myself, imagine I did not put this thing on the side. Imagine I did not have this. What would I have done? It would have been very serious. Yeah, but because there's something that can be grown, it gives me confidence that I'll bear all the challenges, I'll bear all the difficulties. It is worth going through them now than to have continued waiting and marking time, because human beings, after a certain age, you don't want to disturb your environment again. After 50, you hardly want to take any risk or pension.
So risks should be taken before the age of 50.
You should take the plunge before the age of 50. And this advice I'll give to my colleagues. And I know a lot of people are in banking who are, the stress on you is so much. Sometimes you think it's as if, say, when you live, you will die. You will not die. You will not die. Even if it's at all you can do, come and do it, package it, social media, people will buy it. You have some financial crunch a little, but it is worth going through that now than later. It is worth going through that now than later, because no matter what, anything you plant will grow. But the earlier you plant, the better it will bear fruit for you to eat at your needed time. So the issue of fear, it's always fear, the fear of the unknown. That is why we shun entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And don't make the mistake that I made. Don't do business according to your conviction. Do business according to economic dictates. If we have started as a full restaurant, by this time we will have more money than. But I felt that people's health would matter. But every food is food. Yeah. So if you want to do something, plan well and take decisions on the back of economics, not on the back of your beliefs.
So would you say, knowing what you know now, and opening your restaurant, you would have done something different?
Oh yes, of course. Of course. I do remember a very good friend and a benefactor telling me that, was this big idea, drop it and let me bring some model from Turkey. I went and saw something in Ankara, what they do. People love their meat. people love their pizza with their chicken and the other things. Those who don't want it, find a way to prepare it for them without tainting it with their meat. So if I've allowed all those advice to influence me, it would have taken off a long time than now that you're actually taking off. Another issue that I want to also draw attention to is start whatever you want to do in the future before you put in money as in sunk costs. Because if it should flounder and you have invested so much money in structure and other things, it's difficult for you to close it and back out. If something's not going to work, easily wind it up and find something else to do. But then when you have committed so much funds in structure, in rent, and all those things, it puts you at a situation where it's so difficult for you to move on from that thing. So, for instance, one of the things I regret not doing is that maybe we could have started the business from our house kitchen and use our network of friends, social media, and that thing to sell food to people, use the delivery system for them to even get the idea that this brand is here, they do homemade food and other things. And when we get so much kind of publicity, then we can find a location to put the business. So if you want to start something, don't wait. Start it now with very little investment in sunk cost. Because there are certain things when you put your money in it. For instance, at the restaurant now, if you say we are not doing the restaurant again, so much of the cost we use in converting the place to the restaurant is lost and lost for good. It's lost and lost for good. And so it also makes it very difficult for you to wind up if the thing is not working. So others should look at that very well and not commit so much money in fiscal structures, but really start doing the thing itself and get people to patronize. If you invest in something, invest in maybe skills to do videos, skills to share videos on all the social media handles and get a following and all those things. Those ones will be better.
So you're saying social media marketing is a must for every business, every new business and even old businesses.
If anybody overlooks the new media, I call it the new media, social media marketing, then the person is bound to fail. The person is bound to fail. I hardly sit by the television, but I'm always watching something or that on social media. After all, WhatsApp now, you get videos being shared on WhatsApp, and so many people get to see it at the same time. As an advice to my fellow colleagues who are in banking and looking at the situation the industry is going through now or has passed through the recent years, is bringing to the fore that we should also focus on developing our entrepreneurship capacity. And sometimes we think entrepreneurship is basically selling. Yes, it's so important to be able to sell something to somebody, but it's also about what you can do that will attract others to buy. Don't wait till you are out. Let's find time. I know bankers, our time is so difficult, but because this is so much important and has to do with how well you do post-banking, even if you don't leave banking and you retire at 60, you must still be able to have something to do to keep body and soul together and keep your sanity. Because the government says you cannot work doesn't mean you finish your working. Your life must begin after government say they have no need of you. What are you jumping from the boardroom to or your banking hall to? We need to develop our capacity to leverage on one, our network of friends, using social media, and any other thing that we can distribute value and get value in return and do something. We don't need to just do it because maybe you want to run away from bank work, but we must see it as a necessity even for our children. Now we must all start thinking and behaving like the Syrians and the Lebanese. That small store they start, they take their children to school in Harvard and they will come and work in the same shop. And before you realize, it's something very big.
Yeah. So
So if you're going to wait, then you go on pension, then your children are up from the University to Technic, you have to go and see people you know. Don't pay you my mommy by any day. But this something is already in the offing. They have their ideas. When they come on it, it's going to be something else. And they will even be able to take better care of you in your old age. So my advice to my fellow bankers is that, look, a time will come we will all have to walk away. But let it not be so abrupt. Start doing something now. So when the time is up, you don't have much regrets about that.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. This was very interesting, and we wish it would go on and on and on and on. However, unfortunately, we have to bring it to an end. We are so grateful to you, Mr. Nkrumah, for
Thank you, my dear.
getting the time to come and share this amazing story with us. Okay, so I'm eating pizza from Root Cuisine, and it's a must try. This is so nice. They are located at the, where are you located?
At the Embra opposite Family Out. Yeah.
Okay.
TUC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apart from pizza, they do delivery on any other dish.
Nigerian food, Ghanaian
yes,
food.
so be sure to
Yeah.
call them. I'm really enjoying this. Don't forget to give them a call. Bye.